What's up, you beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the Twisted Wanderer podcast. I'm your host, Jack, and today's episode is going to be a little spicy because I don't know. I just feel like I'm feeling spicy. Um, I've been kind of just really in the dumps the past 2 weeks. I got sick. Babe had to go to the hospital. Babe's okay. So that's fucking amazing. That's great. But I don't know. I just got in a funk because he was in the hospital. We went home. Not in the hospital. We had to go to the ER, but it was whatever. I digress. But then I got sick and I hadn't been in the gym and I kind of just got sad and like just feeling not my best. And then I had a really amazing person reach out to me and I had a phone call with them on Sunday and we just talked about so many good things about scoliosis because they are having to look at spinal fusion surgery. And she asked me so many great questions and really motivated me to just feel better and keep going. And it just felt really nice that like I was able to, make a difference in someone's life and that they connected with my content and this podcast and it really warmed my widow heart. So here I am. I'm feeling better. I went to the gym today. I got work soon, but I wanted to hop on here. I really want to go into more detail with this topic, but for now, I just want to talk about it a little bit and give you guys some of my experience with this. It's very personal, but like I said, I keep it raw and real with you guys, and everything I say on here, I feel like it will be relatable and beneficial and something I wish I had when I was 25 going under spinal fusion. So today's episode 3 for a letter word. Oh, wait, 3 isn't a 3-letter word. But sex is okay. SEX, baby. That's what we're talking about today. Sex and spinal fusion. So, why are we talking about that? Well, because we're grown fucking women and someone should fucking talk about it, in my fucking opinion. So, it's your girl and we're going to do it. So, what about sex and spinal fusion, right? Like, what about it? Well, for starters, sex is nice, right? We like sex. Sex is good, whether you have it with yourself, someone else, whatever, whoever, whatever floats your boat, right? Well, I had spinal fusion at 25 and yeah, I like sex. So, um, it was a big question. It was a big thought in my head. And I did not have this conversation with anyone because I had no one to talk to 7 years ago about it. So I went into spinal fusion surgery just thinking about my sex life and how the fuck was it going to be after spinal fusion surgery, right? And who was it going to be with? like, um, I was not in a relationship. I did not meet my husband until 2 years after my spinal fusion. And we've been together 5 years now, just for timeline. So my spinal fusion was 7 years ago. Been with my husband for 5 years. So I met him 2 years after my spinal fusion surgery. So, in those 2 years, like, what's going on there, right? To be honest, not much. I was really, really scared to have sex after spinal fusion. As most of you can imagine, if you have listened to the first few podcasts of season 1, it's all about my journey with recovery. And I had a really rough recovery. So I went in thinking about sex, like, oh my God, what am I gonna am I ever gonna have sex again? Like, how is this going to work? And I came out of it just not giving a fuck about it. I was just I don't know. I was just focused on the pain and the journey ahead. But as I started to feel better again, I would say around like probably December, January, I'm like getting ready to go to school. I actually went to school in March of my surgery was 2006. So I went to school March of 2017 in Minnesota, which was really fucking cool. And we stayed there. Excuse me. My sickness is still here a little bit. Just bear with me. So I went to school in 2017, right? In Minnesota. We stayed there. It was really cool. It was kind of my first experience of like going to college. And because I didn't go to college, I went to beauty school and we don't have dormitories there as much as we live there 24/7. We don't stay there. So it was really, really cool. I got to live in an apartment. I had two roommates. It was so much fun. Like we started going to the bars and I was starting to feel like, a normal younger 25-year-old. And it was just like so nice because my birthday was coming up. My birthday's in April. So it was like a month away from my birthday. I was going to be 26 and I just started to feeling younger and sexy again. And like, I was like, I think I want to have sex. And so like that is, I would say around March. So yeah, not December, January, but December, January, I probably like started thinking about it and was like iffy. And then March came, I was in school, like that atmosphere was with like, like I guess college atmosphere, but a little bit more mature because we're like in our later 20s here. But, I was starting to feel curious again and I let myself explore, I guess you could say. And it was not what that sex sucked. Just say right out there. I wish I waited, I wish I kept my spinal fusion virginity a little longer. Excuse me, sorry. That's my honest opinion. And why I say that is because I don't know why I thought it would be fun to have sex with someone who doesn't like know my spine, know my situation, or maybe I tell them and they don't care. But I guess I was just like kind of forcing myself to just get it over with, like forcing myself to like, I was so curious of like the interaction, right? And I didn't like, I couldn't imagine waiting 2 years until I met my husband. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think I just wanted to know that I could do it and that like it wouldn't like feel as different and I would just like but it is different. And that's what I'm trying to say here as I just air my laundry, not dirty laundry, but my life to you guys. And I don't do that. This isn't something I easily tell you. This is something I'm telling you because I feel like it's going to be beneficial for you. And like I said, raw and real here, I don't give a shit if you don't, like we're humans. That's natural to want to feel like that again, to feel pleasure again. And I guess like that's what I thought I was going to feel, but I did not. It was not great. It was quite terrible. And not great. So, and when I mean not great is you know, I think like when you think of like hookups and like whatever, like they're fun, they can be fun, but when you have a spinal fusion, you're recovering, you're going through that, it kind of just took the fun away. It kind of took that out because I realized things about my body, my brand new back, right? And like how it's responding to certain feelings. And I guess I wish I would have waited to, I don't know, just experience that with someone maybe on a deeper level, not just like hook up, if that makes sense. So, which I feel like it does in my head. So hopefully it makes sense to you guys. But I just, it's such a, now that I look back on it, like healing after your spinal fusion is such a beautiful personal process. And although you may feel like you are missing out on things and you want to get back into your groove of things, of sex and everything that comes with it, give yourself time. Like 6 months was definitely not enough. I feel like it was, like I said, I had no one to talk to about this. But if you're in a relationship, I feel like that could be completely different. Like, I feel like that's helpful because you can talk to each other and find out what's right together, or find out what's right on your own. You know what I mean? Like, you can play with yourself in different positions, and like, sorry guys, as I said, this episode's going to be spicy. So I just feel like you can do different things to find that way back to yourself, to that part of you, because you are sexy and you are beautiful, no matter the degree of your curve, your spinal fusion, whatever. Like, and you deserve to feel comfortable in the bedroom. So I guess my biggest advice on this topic is, don't feel like you have to just get back into it, whether you are in a relationship or not. Don't feel like you have to get back into it. And like, if you want to, if you have that craving and that urge, like I did, and maybe, I don't know, like maybe don't form a connection. Maybe it'll work out better. Like, but for me personally, in my experience, I was just like, okay, this isn't as fun as I thought it was going to be. And I learned that on my own, right? Like, I learned that after I was like, okay, you know what? I've learned this now. I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to focus on me. And that's what I did. I focused on myself. And yeah, we had a dry season for quite some time, but that's okay. That's what I'm trying to say. Either or is okay. And just know that you will have sex after spinal fusion. You will. And the more you recover with it, the more your new normal will start to feel. And, if you need props, that's okay. Scully props are great for sex too, people. Okay? Eating those wedges from the hospital, bring that shit home. Order some on Amazon, because let me tell you, you're going to need it, especially for doggy style. Okay? Okay. I don't know if that's just Scully thing. I'm sure people without scoliosis do the pillow thing for doggy, but that is your best friend. Props, pillows, hopefully one day a beautiful chair. I don't know what those chairs are called, but y'all know what I'm talking about, like the little scoopy scoop chair, because those are awesome. They're in hotels and I want one. So yeah, those are really great. So point of this podcast is to just really just be patient. Be patient with everything after spinal fusion, but especially, in my opinion, do what you want. There is no judgment here. I support you either way. But if I had to give advice, it would just be patient, because you have a whole new body, a whole new body. You know what I mean? And it takes a while to learn your new body, to learn what feels weird, but what feels weird that's also normal, right? Because you're going from you're a whole new person. It really is like, just, I don't want to sound so dramatic, but in my eyes, like, it is like, I've only been having sex this way for 7 years. So like, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like my spine hasn't even been with me for a decade. Okay. There are things that I am still learning about my body, especially now with working out. And let me tell you one thing, people. If you do not work out yet with scoliosis corrective exercises and you are just going to the gym, you're doing it wrong, because I've started scoliosis corrective exercises and the gym My sex life has improved, in my opinion. I think Babe would agree, but mm, it's just like, just take care of yourself. The sex after spinal fusion will come. I promise you that. It might be the worst story of your life, or it would be really, really sweet, and you're with your partner and you get to relearn new things. But the most important part is that just take your time. Take time to learn what feels right, what positions you don't like anymore. Like, I can promise you, you're not just gonna go spinal fusion and then just back to the rodeo up and down. Okay. At least in my experience. Um, you know, slow and steady wins the race. At least that's how it was for me. Who knows? Some people probably bounce back like a fucking, I don't know what bounces. Whatever. Might just bounce back. Um, yeah, I just think it's just important to know that it's okay to not have sex either after spinal fusion surgery. Like, I think I just got to the point where I was just like, oh my God, this is like weighing on me. How terrible is this going to be? Like, like driving's fucking weird. Like, when you start driving, I would say I started driving like end of November, and I had my spinal fusion in September 6th. And like, so that made me think, like, while I was driving down the street one day, just thinking about sex, it's like looking, oh my God, I'm so stiff. How's this going to happen? How am I going to have intercourse? So you just have to listen to yourself and don't get fed up with yourself. Cause I feel like I got fed up with myself. I feel like I was overthinking things and maybe just took things too fast for myself at that time. So I just, yeah, I just want you guys to know that you're beautiful and that your body is beautiful and that your body deserves to be cared for by you and by someone that you trust after spinal fusion. I don't, and again, do whatever you please to do. But I just feel like it's such an emotional rebirth. It's a rebirth in every which way. It's a rebirth with walking again. It's a rebirth with driving again. It's a rebirth with, like you've heard in past podcasts, sneezing. Okay. It's a rebirth with sex. It's a rebirth. You are literally reborn with a brand new spine. And take care of it. That's my biggest advice. Take care of it, both physically and emotionally, and just hopefully and wholesomely. Just really, really just give yourself a hug and really, really hold on to yourself while you recover, because you're what's most important and your healing is what's most important. Don't get too in your head about, am I ever going to do this again? Am I ever going to have sex again? Am I, this was my favorite position. Like, how am I supposed to do that? There are ways and tips and tricks, and I really, really want to write more on this, and I definitely will, because I feel like it is a topic that is not shared enough. It's not talked about enough, and I know how big and amazing the scoliosis community is online, and we're all just trying to break down these barriers and walls for people with scoliosis and spinal fusions alike. We're all learning, because all of our diagnoses lead us to surgery at different ages and different points in our life. So I feel like it's just so important to talk about each point of those lives, right? Because they happen. This happened. Sex is natural. Sex is a thing with spinal fusion surgery, especially for 25-year-old women and 31-year-old women or males, whoever you are. I feel like sex is it's important. It's important to be knowledgeable about your body. So I just really want you guys to take away from this episode that more is coming on this topic, and that you are beautiful, and that there is no rush to get back to what you used to do. Because you know what? You're going to do things so fucking different now because you have to, and you have to learn. And that doesn't mean that, I don't know. I felt like I thought it was wrong or not enough, and just, I wasn't nice to myself that much. Like I was, but I also wasn't in certain areas. And I feel like sex was one of them. So, you just got to give yourself some grace. You are literally going through a life-changing surgery, emotionally, physically. This will change you, and that's okay. It is okay to change, because what Kenny Chesney says, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And the older I get and the more shit that I've been through, I fucking agree with that quote. So, yeah, this was just a little insight to how I'm feeling about this topic. I feel like it's really important to be spoken about, and I hope that it was beneficial for you guys. I have lots of stories. I have lots of advice, and I want to dig a little deeper into this. So I'm going to do some research and some things. And yeah, guys, I will keep you guys updated on this, but definitely going to write a blog. And yeah, other than that, that's really it. I'm really loving my new job. In case you wanted to know, I actually have work in like 15 minutes. And I just want to end the podcast by saying, you're beautiful. And I'm here for you. Whatever crazy questions that you may think are crazy, they're not. Nothing is too crazy. Reach out to me with anything you think of. I have been through a lot, and I want to start sharing more and encompassing life and spinal fusion. So that is something I'm working on and really excited about. And other than that, that's it. I think I'm done for this one. I know this is like a little on the shorter side, but I just feel like I needed to talk about it a little bit before I dive deep into it. So I hope it was beneficial for you guys. And yeah, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you for supporting me. It means so much to me that I'm able to feel comfortable enough to create a podcast like this. And it just feels really, really good to know that, it's relating with women out there, and it means a lot to me. So thank you. Until then, you beautiful people, I will see you next time. I hope you have an amazing Thursday. Bye.